Looks good to me.
Okay, ready?
Sure.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 50 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. I am one of your hosts, El Murpho.
And your other one, DMurph.
And we are two brothers who are former WWE employees that enjoy the wrestling and the video games. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. Things were working fine. I had everything set up for the podcast, and then our power went out for about 10 seconds. That was just long enough to just royally screw everything up. And then we had everything set up, and then for some reason our microphones weren't working anymore. So fun stuff. So we had to like reconfigure all the stuff and things, but everything's okay now. Everything's fine. Everything's normal. Everything's copacetic.
Thankfully.
How are you?
I'm exhausted. My son decided that 2 a.m. was a proper time to go to sleep last night, and then
That's always a proper time to go to sleep.
7 a.m. was a proper time to wake up.
Yeah, that's how it always works, right? That's how you're supposed to do it. I mean, to be fair, I went to bed at I think almost 2 a.m, and I set my alarm for 8. I mean, I got 1 hour of sleep extra than you.
Okay, let me also rephrase this. What time did you go to bed versus what time did you go to sleep? Because I went to bed at 10 o'clock and went to sleep at 2 o'clock.
Get 4 hours of fun with your son in the bed.
All right, so later I'm just going to keep kicking you in the back and see if you like that.
Hey, it's family bonding time. But anyway, guys, it is we're in a very weird situation with this podcast because we don't have a pay-per-view event to review or preview or do predictions for. So like,
hallelujah.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
You don't use your hands.
I don't know what to do.
Here, I'll show you something. This is something Pete Dunne likes to do.
No, we're not. That's something you're doing with your hands.
Your hands are also doing something too. They're causing you pain.
Yes. Hugo Gonzalez asked if we watched the Best of Super Juniors. No, we did not. I didn't even know that was going on in New Japan. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. But what is up to everybody in the chat? Hello to Cam. Hello to Hugo. And hello to Joker. Yeah, we're going to talk about the happenings in wrestling since we don't have a pay-per-view event to break down. And then we're going to talk about stuff happening in video games. Mm-hmm. There's a lot happening in video games. There's quite a fair amount happening in wrestling right now. You want to tell us what's going on in wrestling?
There's a few things going on. The main thing that I'm excited about is all the stuff with the WWE UK division this week.
Yes, because they announced all the entrants into the UK tournament.
Not just that, we got to see some of the new competitors on 205 Live this week. Because 205 Live, since they're doing the European tour, took place in London. And so we had matches such as a fatal four-way match between TJP and Kalisto and the inaugural WWE UK champion, Tyler Bate, and newcomer, Kenny Williams from Scotland. And that was one hell of a match.
Yeah.
And then they also had another match, and it was a 6-man tag team. It had Cedric Alexander with Mustafa Ali and newcomer Flash Morgan Webster versus Drew Gulak. And I believe it was also, I'm looking at the list here, James Drake. Well, he was in the last tournament. And not Zach Gibson. Who was it? Oh, and Joseph Connors, who was also in the tournament last year.
Yeah. It looks like fun. It's just interesting that Drew Gulak's going to be in it.
Yeah.
Since he's not like they do have guys who aren't from the UK, but they're big on the UK wrestling scene. But Drew Gulak made his name in the States.
Yeah,
there's like interesting. But then again, they might be doing that intentionally to make him a heel, to make
him
it
a
so that way so that way the UK people maybe have somebody they really don't want to see win. So maybe he makes it to the semifinals or something like that, or the final, and it really makes the UK crowd not want to see a guy from the US who hasn't made his name in the UK win the tournament.
Yeah, I also kind of view it as they've done it. It looks to me like they're treating Drew Gulak similar to how they were recently treating Roderick Strong, where Roddy Strong was doing a lot of different stuff on NXT, and then like, you know what, we're also going to throw you up onto 205 Live to put you in the Cruiserweight tournament. They've got Drew Gulak doing a lot of stuff. He's one of the biggest heels, one of the biggest names on 205 Live. And like, you know what? We got this other thing going on. We'll throw you in there as well, give you a little extra stuff to do, get your name out there a little bit more.
Yep.
So it's a matter of like, I don't like the fact that he's in the tournament, but I am totally fine with the fact that I get to see more Drew Gulak matches. So
Yeah.
especially in this kind of tournament setting where those matches usually tend to be very good.
Yeah, and it should be very interesting. I'm trying to think. Nobody from NXT is going to be in the tournament, right? But we are going to have also gentleman Jack Gallagher, or
Yes.
Jack Gallagher, because he's not a gentleman anymore because he's a heel.
Yeah. I'll give you the full list of people who have
let's
been
hear it.
announced. The first 8 names that were announced were Zach Gibson, Joe Coffey, Jack
Joe Kofi, I know.
Kofi, or no Coffey, yeah, whatever.
Joe Kofi.
Kofi, yeah. I always get confused because of Kofi Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Gallagher, Dave Mastiff, Kenny Williams, El Ligero, Joseph Connors,
El Ligero's huge apparently in the UK.
and Amir Jordan. And then in the second group of 8 they announced, we
Real
have...
quick before you go
Yep.
into that, Cam just says keep an eye out for Amir Jordan. Apparently he's very, very good.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of his work, and he is very good, and I'm excited to see what they do with him in this.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the second half, they have Travis Banks, Flash Morgan Webster, Jordan Devlin, Tucker, Drew Gulak, Ashton Smith, James Drake, and Tyson T-Bone. A lot of these guys were in the tournament last year and got eliminated in the first or second round, and my reaction to it was, but I want to see more.
Yeah.
Like T-Bone, he had his he lost in the first round to Wolfgang, but it was a very good match. So I'm excited to see what they do with all these other guys in this tournament.
Yeah. Yes, very, very excited. A lot of these guys they actually signed like UK kind of like WWE contracts with. And the interesting thing about it is these contracts do not allow them, I think, to it's a new non-compete clause where they're not allowed to appear on any UK shows that have streaming live. Yeah, so like Defiant Wrestling, which is formerly What Culture Pro Wrestling, and a couple of other places, they can't compete in anymore now that they have this new deal with the WWE.
Interesting.
So, and it also keeps them from doing World of Sport, which apparently was a lot of people think that's why WWE did the first UK tournament, and one of the reasons why they brought the UK tournament back is because World of Sport at the time of the first UK tournament was doing a special for wrestling, obviously, around that time, and now they're trying to do tapings and do weekly shows. And some of the guys who were in the UK tournament were in the first World of Sport before they signed, were in like the first couple tapings before they decided to do the UK tournament and they signed. So it's believed that WWE is also doing this as a move to keep top talent away from World of Sport because they can see it as a legitimate threat and contender in the UK market for them.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, they've already got some, I wouldn't say necessarily partnerships, but some friendly relations with some groups over in the UK already, like Progress and ICW and stuff, and they've been highlighting that stuff in this tournament. Like they're pointing out that there are people who are former champions in ICW and stuff, and former champions in Progress. So it's also a way where it's like, well, you know what? There's still these companies that I could work with, and it gets their work promoted by me being on the show. And I mean, look what happened with Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate and Trent Seven. They were in the last tournament, and their careers have exploded since then.
yeah. Well, those three guys were also very popular in the UK before the first UK tournament.
Yeah, but now they're popular all over the world as opposed to just the UK.
Very true. It's very true. Cam, however, thinks that the new UK tournament looks fantastic, and he also confirmed that World of Sport did do a taping. They just did a 10-episode taping last weekend. I don't know if that taping is part of involves the guys who signed the UK tournament because these signings might have come before the announcement, so they may or may not be involved. So
yeah, the one thing I will say that's upsetting about this tournament is the first round is apparently taking place at the Download Festival and not at the actual UK Championship event.
Really?
Yeah, they're doing the first rounds at the Download Festival, and then they're going to be finishing up the rest of the tournament on the first day of the event, and also doing the first day of the event, which I'm super excited for. Apparently, from what I heard, it looks like they're going to be doing Pete Dunne along with Tyler Bate and Trent Seven versus Adam Cole, Roddy Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly in a 6-man tag match.
Nice. Adam Cole, baby.
Mm-hmm. And the second day of the event is when whoever wins the tournament is going to be facing Pete Dunne for the UK Championship.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, the UK tournament looks exciting. However, one of probably the biggest non-in-ring related news for WWE is the fact that they signed a new deal for Monday Night Raw with NBC Universal. Notice I said Monday Night Raw. We'll get to the whole SmackDown thing afterwards. But the good thing about this deal for WWE, it is reportedly 2 to 3 times the amount as far as dollars go that their last TV deal with NBC Universal was. So that means that they're going to be making more money. They're having a lot more revenue. It's believed that they're going to be making more money off of this TV deal than they will be off of the subscribers to the WWE network. So some people are beginning to think, well, maybe they'll shift their priorities more to television than to pay-per-views, to where if it's not a big tentpole pay-per-view, they may have the finishes of matches and so that way people are forced to tune into Raw the next day.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
But good news for WWE. They're making more money, which means they may be able to bring back some of the things that they lost to the budget cuts, such as pyro and the like.
Yeah.
But as I said, the deal is for Raw. It's not for SmackDown. Apparently, NBC Universal does not really want to bring SmackDown back to USA. It seems they're playing hardball with WWE as far as purchasing the television rights to SmackDown, and I don't know if they which network they want to feature it on if they do buy it. So, and they don't want to pay as much money. So that's actually opened the door to Fox and other companies. I think I've heard rumor that Amazon might have been interested as well. Potentially Facebook. And actually purchasing the rights to SmackDown to broadcast SmackDown.
Please, no.
Live. So we'll see what comes of that. We will indeed see.
Yeah.
And Joker wants them to please bring back the pyro. And also, Joker, I've been keeping tabs on the NHL playoffs. You asked me about that. I have, but I haven't been able to really watch any games. When the finals start, I'll probably watch the finals. But I'm hoping for the Golden Knights and the Lightning. I think the Rangers get I think when the Rangers traded Ryan McDonough, this is a tangent for me, but I'm just going to say it real quick. The Rangers traded their captain away. I think they got one of the conditions of the trade was that if the Lightning won the Stanley Cup, that the Rangers would get better prospects or better picks out of the deal. So,
all right.
Anyway, that's a totally side tangent there. So yeah, Cam says back on the World of Sport and UK thing. None of the WWE guys were on the World of Sport taping. World of Sport got Ospreay, so they'll be fine. And I also heard that apparently that World of Sport also got and Cam, you'll be able to confirm this in chat, but I believe they also got somebody who likes to, when he was with WWE, dole out bad news.
I think I heard something about that too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, World of Sport did get some good guys, even though they're losing some talent to WWE from the UK tournament signings.
Yeah.
So that's the big WWE news with the UK tournament and the TV deals going on. Do you want to talk about what happened in wrestling this week? As far as Raw and SmackDown?
Well,
NXT, all that stuff?
Yeah, I was going to say,
highlights.
I've seen NXT, and I do want to talk about that a little bit.
Well, let's get to that later. After we talk Raw and SmackDown. So anything in Raw you want to bring up first?
Jinder Mahal got his ass beat.
He got destroyed. He also got put through a very, very flimsy and totally not fake wall that wasn't cardboard. Totally was not cardboard. Do not look at that wall. It was not cardboard.
No, it was pre-cut cardboard is what it was.
Oh, man. He got the Shockmaster treatment, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it looks like Roman is going into a rivalry with Jinder Mahal, which I don't know. Does that mean that Roman is eventually going to face Brock again? I thought Brock was going to be at Money in the Bank, and that's the next event. But if Roman's in a rivalry with Jinder.
Well, the thing I'm going to point out is we're still in the middle of May, and Money in the Bank is until June 15th or something like that.
Okay.
So it's a couple weeks into June. So, I mean, they have time to do a quick burner rivalry between Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal.
That's very true. Did we I'm trying to think what else happened on Monday Night Raw. Oh, Bobby Lashley is finally involved in a rivalry.
He is?
With one heel Sami Zayn.
Ah.
Yeah. Sammy got upset. He said that apparently, I think he was saying that Bobby Lashley gave him like vertigo or whatever.
Yeah, that was a while ago he was saying that.
Yeah, gave him vertigo and kept him from competing at Greatest Royal Rumble because that's totally the reason why.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So he basically got into a rivalry with Bobby Lashley now, which is cool. I like Sammy. Bobby needs something to do. You want to talk about that real quick? So, since we're talking about Sammy,
yeah, Sammy.
You're doing the motion, and people in the audio don't know what the hell.
Sammy and Kevin have been having one hell of a time at these house shows on the European tour, just like BSing and stuff. And if you look online, if you go on Twitter and search Sami Zayn, it won't be long before you find the gif of Sami Zayn just on the top rope,
doing the Bernie. Yeah,
just doing the Bernie to Samoa Joe's theme song for a while until Kevin Owens points it out and just like, "Hey, knock it off."
Speaking of Kevin Owens, he also apparently answered Seth Rollins' Intercontinental Championship challenge this week, and apparently it was a really good match.
Oh yeah, that's what I heard. I haven't gotten to see it, but I heard that it was almost an hour.
And also big news, this didn't happen at Raw, but they mentioned it at Raw. Nia Jax has her next challenger lined up for the WWE Raw Women's Championship, and that is Ronda Rousey. I don't know where they're going to go here. My assumption is Natty is going to screw Ronda out of the championship, get her first loss out of the way, and then Ronda can go off and have a rivalry with Natty, and then Nia can go compete against somebody else.
She can beat people up.
But it at least gives Ronda her first championship opportunity, gets that out of the way so they can put it on the burner. They can get they can give her first loss so we don't have to build up some sort of winning streak for her and whatnot and make that kind of a storyline.
And then you could feed Natty to her.
Yes.
Nom, nom, nom.
Yes. Natty's been around for a while. She's had her championship. She's a good company person. She'll definitely, she's willing to give Ronda the rub and do the job for Ronda.
It's also going to be a hell of a match, too.
Yes. Other stuff with Nia now having a new challenger. The question is, what is Alexa up to? Well, she qualified for Money in the Bank.
Yep.
So she is in the Raw Women's Money in the Bank alongside Ember Moon and Charlotte. I can't remember if Charlotte qualified on SmackDown this week or last week. Was it last week? I thought it was last week. And I believe, from what I can recall, that was mostly it. We got Braun Strowman teaming with Finn Balor this week, and he went up against, I'm trying to remember, was it Owens and Zayn that they went up against?
No, they went up against Dolph Ziggler
Ziggler and
Drew McIntyre.
Yes, that's right. And did Drew, how did that play out? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Oh,
I think Drew and Dolph won, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I think they might have pinned Balor.
Yeah.
Off of something. Oh, man. God, my memory is not good this week. I've been very busy.
There's one other thing I remember that happened on SmackDown this week.
Well, there's one more thing on Raw I want to talk about because Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel finally have a direction, and it looks like they may be getting pushed right into the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship thing. And based on the gimmick they've given them, I am actually all for it. They went up to Kurt Angle behind backstage and said, "We have a new name. We are the A-Team." And then Kurt Angle's like, "Guys, that's kind of already taken copyright-wise. We can't legally do that." And they're like, "Okay, we're the B-Team. B stands for best, and totally not, we're B-level superstars."
You better believe it.
Yes. And then they went out. I can't remember who they had their match with, but they won.
Breezango.
Yes, Breezango. And yeah, I'm interested to see what they're going to do with them here and if it actually leads towards a tag title match against, what are they called? The Deleters of Worlds is what Hardy and Wyatt call their tag team.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just kind of, ever since everything they did with Braun Strowman for the Raw tag title scene, I've just kind of been like, I'm going to just check out for a while. Let me know when they start getting
Nicholas is
time
long
for
gone.
it again.
You know, he had his homework he had to do.
Well, I'm referring to starting with Braun Strowman literally winning a battle royal against several teams by himself.
Yeah, that's true.
Where they're like, hey, Raw Tag Division, we're just going to step over you.
However, to be fair, the Deleters of Worlds, I don't believe, was in that tag gauntlet, were they?
No.
And then the B team was, if they were in there, they were technically the Miz Taraj, and now they're reimagined, they're repackaged, they're reborn.
Mm-hmm.
So those two guys, they're kind of okay. Where's by the way, where's your buddies? Where's your dudes? Where are they in the?
They went the same direction that Tyler Breeze did, because I forgot to mention that to you, in which they answered the call of Undisputed Era at an NXT house show in Florida this week. The Revival showed up and faced them in a match in which I need to see if I could somehow find footage of this, because everything I'm hearing is the match was absolutely insane.
And people are curious whether or not this means it was just a one-time thing for the Revival, or if they may actually go back down and have another NXT stint to try and revitalize and revamp themselves and come back up to the main roster with some momentum.
Well,
because those injuries really hurt them, and then, booking didn't do them any favors when they got healthy.
From what I understand, from what I saw, it looks like it was a one-time thing. But if they just bring them back down to NXT, I am totally fine with that.
They'd have some pretty good matches with Undisputed Era. I mean, they did on the house show.
Just think about it. There's Undisputed Era. There's Heavy Machinery. There's TM61, who recently had a heel change, by the way.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I want to cheer them. I like them.
Yeah, well, they were in a match against the Street Profits, and they won by, I believe it was Nick Miller getting a roll-up, putting his feet on the ropes, and then Shane Thorne also holding onto his feet on the ropes to get the win.
Cam says #revive the Revival, RTR.
Sure. I mean, hell, the Revival are amazing. And if what everyone's saying about this match with them in Undisputed Era at the NXT house show is true, that goes to show that they could do the job. They just need to be given the opportunity to show it. Apparently, a few weeks ago, they also had an amazing tag team match with Breezango on main event. I've been wanting to watch that and haven't gotten to
go.
watch.
It's a matter of booking, giving them, and the writers giving them something to actually do.
Yeah. And I don't know what he did, but like I said, apparently Tyler Breeze showed back up on one of those house shows too. So
yeah, poor Tyler. He really should be in a better place than where he is right now.
Yeah.
He's such a talented wrestler.
Yes, he is.
But that was all that we went over as far as Raw's concerned. On SmackDown, we got a new entrant into the men's Royal Rumble, but we don't know exactly who it is yet.
You mean Money in the Bank ladder match?
Yeah, that one. See, you can tell that I'm tired because I'm messing that up. Yeah, into the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We don't know who it is. Because we had a match, it was, I can't remember if it was the New Day versus the Bar or just Cesaro versus Xavier Woods. I think it was just Cesaro versus Xavier Woods.
Yep.
Right? And then, whoever won, they got to choose one of their members to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and Xavier Woods won, which is awesome. So we're going to see either Biggie, Xavier Woods, or Kofi in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And nobody thinks Xavier will be in it. Everybody's saying it'll either be E or Kofi.
Well, I think part of the reason for that is because if I remember correctly, I think Xavier got a hole in his tongue from that match.
Yeah.
So
he did. And there's also the fact that Austin wanted to Xavier I think wants to help the two of them become world champion. I don't think Xavier Woods I don't want to say ambition, but I think his goals in WWE, one of them I don't think is to hold, like, one of his main driving goals is not to hold the WWE championship. I'm thinking it's more to help Ian Kofi become WWE champion.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it'll be one of those two. But if it is Austin and he's in there, like,
more power to him.
More power to him. That's awesome, and I hope he wins.
Yeah.
I would love to see Xavier Woods as a WWE champion.
Same.
Footballers and Joker getting involved in a little bit of a mini bit war, taking first and second place in the bit cheer rankings of the week. Anything else of interest happen on SmackDown that I can recall?
Yeah, Carmella has a new challenger for the women SmackDown.
Oh, yeah,
title.
she does, and I don't know what to think.
I already know who I'm going to pick, but I'm not going to reveal that now.
Well, anyway, the person who challenged her interrupted her royal, celebration, they called it.
Was Paige.
Huh?
Paige interrupted it.
Paige interrupted it, yeah. Ring telephone. I wonder if that's gonna get picked up on the microphones. Probably.
Yeah, whatever.
Ring telephone. So it was Asuka,
who
was her next challenger, and I'm like, I don't know what to think, because is Asuka gonna now lose to Carmella? Or is Asuka going to beat Carmella and win? By the way, thanks, States Terror 18 for the follow. Yes. Thank you for following. So yeah, I don't know what to think about this. Like, Carmella did technically beat Charlotte, who beat Asuka, so
twice.
Yeah, twice. So like, I mean, if you really want to get Carmella heat in the bad way because people don't think she's as good as a wrestler in the ring as Charlotte and Asuka, then you're doing a good job of it, especially if you put her over Asuka. But I don't know.
I'm gonna save my thoughts on that till after the Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
Why?
Because I don't want my thoughts influencing your thoughts of picks.
Oh, because you think somebody's going to cash in, don't you, regardless of who wins?
No, I'm actually thinking that they're probably going to do the SmackDown and
you're
Raw
the champion.
Women's...
You get to pick first anyway.
No, I know. But yeah, I think they're probably going to do the Raw and SmackDown women's title matches before the women's Money in the Bank, and then have the men's Money in the Bank match go on last. But if I had to guess right now, I'm saying it's probably going to be Carmella that wins.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
They've been planning on having her get the title and get a decent run for a while now. And most of her gimmick so far has been, I beat Charlotte Flair. And now she could also say, if she wins this match, and I beat Asuka.
Yeah.
And
who's ready for Asuka? Nobody was ready for Asuka until Charlotte. Then Carmella was also ready for Asuka. Yeah, everybody's now ready for Asuka.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing with things that, like the undefeated streaks, is they lose it once and then it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So yeah, let me see.
So yeah, I know that happened on SmackDown. I'm trying to think. Anything else happened? I'm guessing more stuff. Oh yeah, I believe there was something going on with AJ and Shinsuke. I think they had a match or whatever, and I think Shinsuke won, and that allows Shinsuke to determine the stipulation of their match for the title at Money in the Bank.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to like fix stuff with the audio. Can you say that again for me?
I'm pretty sure they did something between AJ and Shinsuke. I think it may have been a match that Shinsuke won, which allows Shinsuke to pick the stipulation of their match.
And apparently I heard that was better than both their WrestleMania and their Greatest Royal Rumble and their Backlash matches. Like all three of those matches together. It was better than all three of them.
I'm not terribly surprised, to be honest.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah. Such is. Yeah, Cam confirms it was the best AJ Nakamura match yet in WWE, and they put it on television. They didn't put it on,
Hey,
maybe they'll have another good match like that at Money in the Bank. Maybe it'll actually be really good.
Well, think about it. Now it's going to drive up the bidding war for SmackDown Live, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
God. Well, yeah, and that's all I could really remember from SmackDown.
All right, so you want to talk about NXT then?
Yes. NXT, I believe, started off...
Oh, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
One thing we forgot. Andrade Cien Almas debuted on SmackDown Live.
Oh, yeah, and he kicked some local talent's butt.
Yeah, so hopefully good things for him. I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. All right, anyway, go.
We saw a little bit of stuff showing that we might have a little tiny bit of a rivalry brewing between... Heavy Machinery and TM61, because TM61 offered to go out for drinks or whatever with them, and they were like, we don't get drinks with cheaters. And they were like, well, any way to win, and Dozovich is all like, yeah, stakes and weights, and I just love that whole angle.
What the...
Well, that's their whole thing, is stakes and weights.
That's amazing.
It was not long after Mother's Day weekend, they were talking about how they took their mothers out for nice steak dinners. Steaks and weights, come on.
Oh God. At least they will call them again, because it's their mothers. Mm-hmm. Unlike that bastard unlike Champ Kind to Dorothy Mantooth.
Dorothy Mantooth is a saint.
A saint. Then I'm gonna take your mother out to a nice steak dinner and never call her again.
Mm-hmm. other things I can remember from NXT, we had Kona Reeves come out. He had a match again this week like he did last week. And his whole gimmick is he's the finest in WWE, or at least the finest in NXT.
What was Kona Reeves originally? Was he always been an NXT guy, or was he in the Cruiserweight Classic or the UK tournament?
He's always been just a NXT guy. He's like over 6 feet tall. He's from Hawaii.
Okay, I think I know who he is now. Yeah.
And he's kind of His match last week was not that great. His match this week was okay. This week it was against Raul Mendoza, who was in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Mm-hmm.
And his finisher is the Hawaiian Drop.
Is that just a Samoan drop, renamed the Hawaiian Drop?
It's a modified Samoan Drop that I think is actually kind of decent, where instead of just holding them on your shoulders and falling back with them, you fall back and kind of flip them out, so you do kind of like a sideways flapjack to them while you fall.
Okay.
So it's a modification on it, and it's all right, but he does the move, so he's facing the camera, and then he has to go, and when he goes to pin the guy, he spins around so he can be facing the camera when he pins the guy. And I mean, he just is. He's like, the best way I could describe him is like Velveteen Dream, where when Dream first started doing the Velveteen Dream gimmick, I was like, it's not really working too well. I could see you're trying really hard and you might be able to get it, but you're not quite there yet. And then a couple weeks later, it hit and Velveteen was in the role and doing a great job of it. I feel that's the same way with Kona Reeves right now, where he's getting close to being able to hit the gimmick.
He's almost there.
He's almost there, but not quite. And he just needs a little bit more time, which, hey, that's what NXT is for.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they continued a rivalry that they started last week, which I've been so excited about. And we got the match between them this week. I don't know if you've heard about this. Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream.
Ooh.
And the match was going. It was going pretty good. And then Lars Sullivan came out and destroyed both of them.
Well, damn.
And then there was interview segments later in which they saw both Ricochet and Velveteen heading to Mr. Regal's office. And at the end of the show, it was announced that next week we will see Velveteen Dream and Ricochet take on Lars Sullivan in a 2-on-1 handicap match. And then the
hopefully Lars Sullivan doesn't destroy them. If he wins, hopefully at least Ricochet and Velveteen put up a strong fight.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it will be.
Mm-hmm.
But their whole argument is between all of them is who should face Aleister Black for the NXT Championship.
Ooh. Well, probably going to be Lars Sullivan, because Lars is a big, mean, nasty guy who would be an imposing physical threat for Aleister Black.
One thing I remember, the thing that actually started off the show, we had a little promo by Tommaso Ciampa.
Oh, yeah?
That got interrupted by Candice LeRae.
Okay.
And it was pretty damn good, especially when Ciampa started saying things like, Candice, you were always more of a man in the relationship than Johnny was. And he was saying, the entire time I was there at your wedding, standing next to you guys as you were wed, I was just thinking, how can this woman marry a man who is such a big put? And she just slapped him across the face.
Nice.
It was real good, real intense. But the show ended with an amazing 6-man tag match of Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, and Danny Burch versus the Undisputed Era. And it was a really good match with a finish that I really liked. That saw, I believe it was Burch picking up the pin on Kyle O'Reilly, where it appears Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch's tag team finisher is one of them will hoist someone up in a wheelbarrow, and the other one will grab them and DDT them, and the other person doesn't let go of the wheelbarrow, so they basically spike DDT someone together.
Christ.
So, yeah, the match was really good, and I'm really excited to see where they go with all of these talents from here on.
Yes. But, and that's pretty much it in WWE land. Did anything happen on 205 Live at all?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, there was a Fatal 4-Way match with Kalisto, what's his name? I can't believe it, TJP, Tyler Bate, and Kenny Williams. that was a hell of a match, and it saw Tyler Bate picking up the win with the Tyler Driver 97 on TJP.
Nice.
Yeah, but there was actually one point in the match where TJP had literally all 3 other competitors in different submission holds all at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, he had Kenny Williams in an Indian Deathlock. He had Tyler Bate in a abdominal stretch, and then he got Kalisto in some kind of arm lock on top of that. And he just looked to the referee and goes, "Ask him which one." Any of them. All of them.
That's good. It
was really good. And then, like I said, there was a 6-man tag match that featured Cedric Alexander teaming with Mustafa Ali and Flash Morgan Webster against Drew Gulak, trying to remember, Joseph Connors, and I can't believe I'm blanking on this other guy's name. He's really good. James Drake. Yeah, why couldn't I remember his name? And that was also another pretty good match, which had an ending that I was expecting of Cedric Alexander picking up the win, and I believe it was on Joseph Connors.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was a very good week for 205 Live and NXT in general.
Yes. But that's not all that's going on in the wrestling world.
No.
There's quite an interesting thing that's going on that's non-WWE related, and it put its tickets out for people to buy, and people bought them very, very quickly.
Yeah, you could say they went all in on this event.
Yeah. Everybody will all be in the arena.
Yes, and I don't blame them. And that is the all-in event that is being done by Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks in the Sears Center in Chicago. And 10,000 tickets in 29 minutes and 36 seconds.
Less than a half an hour.
Yeah.
Sold out in less than a half an hour.
And
that's insane.
Here's the thing that's even better about that. Only 1.2% of those tickets went to scalpers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So people who are buying them aren't even trying to just sell them on the secondary market.
No.
Or scalp them. They all want to go.
Yeah, and a lot of these people are coming from all over the world. I've seen people from England and people from Australia and stuff who bought tickets to go to this event.
Damn.
Yeah.
Cody's got the draw.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't ever doubt that Cody can't draw, because Cody can draw.
I mean, look at the talents they've got. They've got Cody. They got the Young Bucks. They've got Rey Mysterio.
Omega.
Yeah, Okada, Omega.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio just got announced.
Marty Scurll. They got a bunch of people, not to mention their convention beforehand. They've got all kinds of people. They've got Christian. They've got Diamond Dallas Page. They've got Macaulay Culkin with the Bunny Ears podcast. They've got all kinds of people coming all around. Plus, that weekend, you got CM Punk doing a signing at 1 Hour Tees in Chicago.
I was just going to say, they've also, got this guy called Cheese Mannequin Punk doing a signing that weekend.
Yeah.
So
it's absolutely insane. And Cody's going to be, they announced at the press conference that Cody is going to be challenging for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship.
Awesome.
And
I hope he wins it.
Flip Gordon showed up at the press conference, and he super kicked Marty Scurll and then turned around and went to go after Hangman Page, who just spine busted him through a table at the press conference for the event. But yeah, it's looking real good, and I'm real excited. The thing that a lot of people are pointing out is they sold out 10,000 tickets in less than a half an hour, and honestly, technically, they haven't even announced a single match for the card yet.
Well, it's just because the sheer amount of talent that's in the show is what is, causing the draw. And everybody, and Cody Rhodes, he's an awesome dude. Not only is he really good in the ring and good at working a promo, he's also just a genuinely amazing human being.
Yeah.
And, that's part of the reason why people want to go and support him, and they want to see this succeed. Fans feel like they're a part of this. They feel like they're helping him out, and they're doing something for him and helping him. So, of course people are going to go.
Yeah. Plus,
there's a whole convention thing happening beforehand, and the names that are attached to that, too, that we listed off. They know it's going to be good. People, Cody Rhodes, through his indie workings in the last year and a half, he has built up that trust with people. He's built that up. And people have, and a lot of the smart wrestling fans have felt his pain when he has been sitting there suffering as Stardust for his last few years in WWE. So like people want to see this because I really think there's a large chunk of wrestling fans who want to see Cody Rhodes succeed big time in the indies, become this huge, massive success. So that way WWE will eventually re-sign him and give him a shot, and people want to see him at WrestleMania, like competing for the WWE Championship.
That'd be nice.
So hopefully it will happen. Real quick before we go aside, Joker, the program did work. Joker has used the Shamrock loyalty system that I have set up on Twitch to redeem a question. He was just testing it to see if it worked, but he did redeem a question. So I'm going to answer his question. He asked if we've seen Deadpool 2. I have not. I'm wearing the shirt because I am going tonight to go see it with my girlfriend. So no spoilers. I'm going to go see it tonight. And I'm sure, and I know you with the kids and the family, you probably won't be seeing it for quite a while.
I'm hoping that I might get to see Avengers by around my anniversary, which is the end of next month.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for that. I just saw Star Wars Last Jedi like 2 weeks ago on Blu-ray in my living room. I mean, there's that.
Yeah.
And thanks to it releasing digitally, I was able to see Black Panther last week.
What'd you think?
I thought it was good.
I really liked Black Panther.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, we were luckily able to see it, and I ended up seeing it twice because I saw it because I thought that it was gonna end up out of theaters, and then it stayed in for another couple weeks, which allowed me to take girlfriend to go see it, and she really liked it. Yeah, Joker, DMurph has a family that he has to take care of. He's got 3 kids and a full-time job. He does not get a lot of free time. He does not get to get out much.
Yep.
So he doesn't get to see like the latest, hottest movies until like at least a month or 2 after they release.
Yeah, the last time I saw a movie in theaters was in January for my wife's birthday, and that was Thor Ragnarok, which came out in November.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
that's how it is with me and being able to see movies in theaters.
Yeah.
Up until this Spider-Man Homecoming, I had been able to see every Marvel film in theaters, but with Spider-Man Homecoming, I just was not able to swing that.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
actually, no,
don't
even
fall
before
into a
that
trend.
with Doctor Strange. Yeah, but I'm trying to see.
You need to find
we could hopefully-
Dormammu and come to Bargain.
Yeah, seriously.
You need to go to Bargain to Dormammu to get more time in order to go see movies in theaters.
Yeah, it doesn't help that every day I don't work from here until around my birthday, I believe, which is the middle of July. I have some kind of plan literally every day I have off. So it's kind of hard to see a movie when you don't have any free time.
Yeah. Also, hello to Big Stupid, who's finally in the chat. His job's getting in the way of him watching his Super Grapple Bros podcast, he's saying, apparently. But, yeah. Cam says, he'll be honest, Deadpool 2 was good, but there was no rush to see it. Yeah, that's kind of the way I felt, because, like, I went to my girlfriend on Thursday. I'm like, I could rush out of work and we can go see Deadpool tonight if you want. And she was like, it's going to be fun. It's going to be good, but it's no Avengers. I feel like after Avengers Infinity War, it's like, that's kind of the bar now for like going and seeing things firsthand. So it's like, unless you're really paranoid about spoilers, you really don't have to see it like the Thursday night.
Yeah, that's part of my issue. I try to limit my social media time because of the fact that I don't want spoilers, and I've already gotten enough from just people posting memes and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
And that's kind of the same way I feel about Solo. Like, I really don't want to watch Solo almost because I hated The Last Jedi so much and I want to protest it. But it's also Star Wars. So maybe I'll see it next weekend, but I don't know if I'll see it like opening night or opening weekend. I've heard about that movie is that it's good, but it's not like amazing. It's like, yeah, it's fun. You get to learn stuff about Han, you get to learn stuff about Lando, but did it really add a lot? And was it really necessary? Not really.
Yeah. We're going off on a bit of a tangent here.
Yeah, we went on a bit of a movie nerd tangent, but that happens. Maybe we can integrate nerdy stuff more into the podcast. People like it, or maybe we'll make. I was gonna say maybe we'll make a separate nerdy podcast, but it's hard
barely
enough
have
for us
time for this.
Yeah, it's hard enough for us to find time to do this one. So
maybe we'll just transition this into like a tabletop wrestling game podcast.
I don't know, maybe. He's not gonna sneak out and go see the movies, guys. He needs to go see it with his wife.
I need to go a minimum of a half an hour to 40 minutes away from my house to get to the nearest movie theater, plus watch the movie, then get back. I can guarantee you my kids will have woken up looking for me at least 3 times in that period of time, minimum.
Bowling Dude says in all caps, movie section, people want to hear us talking about nerdy movies. If only we had the time. I would love to do it.
Yeah.
But anyway, our movie little sub mini podcast aside, tangent, and the wrestling done, I think it's time to get into the video games, right?
Yep.
It is video games time, so I'm going to go ahead and bring up all the video game news, because there is a lot of video game news this week, guys. We are on the road to E3. I'm going to get to the really big news next, because there's a big name that is now stepping away from gaming. But first, I want to get into E3 stuff. First off, where is it? We have our schedule, and I'm going to have to move my mic so I can scroll through things. We now have our schedule for press conferences for E3 2018. The first one that will be taking place is everybody's favorite company, which, holy hell did you, when we talk about them, I don't know if you heard about what they said in their recent earnings call, but man, was it inappropriate, and did they piss people off?
I did not.
Saturday is Electronic Arts, EA. They're going Saturday, June 9th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. That's 2 o'clock Eastern time. For those in the UK, that is 7 p.m. I think that's Greenwich Mean Time. Yes. So what to expect. This is pulled from Polygon.com. This is their take on what to expect from the conference. Electronic Arts promises news on the next Battlefield, which is Battlefield 5. Reveal event is coming on Wednesday, by the way. Mm-hmm. It is officially confirmed to be called Battlefield 5.
Yeah, I heard about that.
BioWare's Anthem, which will be interesting. A lot of people are interested about that. And it's EA Sports lineup during the EA Play 2018 press conference. If you're in Los Angeles, EA will broadcast its pre-E3 show from the Hollywood Palladium. Ooh, the Palladium. I know that place. Been there for plenty of press conferences. But you can view it via EA, YouTube, EA.com, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Yeah. So thinking about Electronic Arts, people get the rest of it. They had their earnings call, like their quarterly earnings call, and they had the gall to say that they are successful because they put their customers first. And they put their customers and consumers first above all else.
Is it all right with you if I use an expletive?
Is there any way you could substitute it for something?
Yes.
Okay.
EA, go fornicate yourself.
There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. I mean, if you want to say, go ahead. I'm just trying to see if maybe there's a chance we could get one episode of the podcast where we don't earn the E rating.
You gotta earn it though, Mike.
Actually, no, screw it. It's our big 50th episode. Go ahead and use it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Happy 50.
Yeah, big number 50. But go ahead if you want to say
EA,
it.
Go fuck yourself right in your fucking face, you fucking fucks.
Wow.
I had to go big.
I said it was okay to do one. Jesus. Why did I say go big for the 50th? Oh, God. Well, there's the E rating. So, yeah, EA is a bunch of assholes.
Yep.
Like, what the hell? And Joker agrees. He says they need to go F themselves. Big Stupid, thank you for the 50-bit cheer. 1 cheer for every episode. Thank you so much, buddy. He is now in first place in the cheer leaderboard. Joker is 2. Footballers is 3rd. So, yeah. EA just doing EA things. It's just great. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
If we keep saying it's great, it's great.
Yeah.
Right?
Just like America, right?
Yep. That's a whole nother thing.
Yep.
We're not going to talk about that.
Nope.
Sunday of E3, June 10th, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific. That is 4 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time for the UK listeners. Is Microsoft. What to expect from them. Microsoft's press briefing will be held at its new home at E3, the Microsoft Theater right next door to the LA Convention Center, which is interesting because they normally have it on the campus of USC, but now they're moving it to the Microsoft Theater, which makes sense. It's literally right next to the LA Convention Center.
Microsoft is going to use the Microsoft Theater?
Yep. I know, shocker.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Microsoft promises a fantastic lineup of new games for Xbox players at E3 2018, and its biggest E3 yet, quote unquote.
Isn't that every E3 for them now?
Yeah. We're due for another Halo, so Halo 6 will get an announcement. Who knows what the fanfare will be, because Halo 5 kind of bombed. I haven't even played the story of Halo 5 and touched the multiplayer for a whole 10 minutes.
I played Halo 4.
Yeah.
And that was
That
it.
pretty much says that.
Yeah.
Another Forza is coming up, and potentially the announcement of Gears of War 5, which Gears of War 4 was really good. So I'm looking forward to seeing Gears of War 5. Microsoft probably has some surprises in store. Keep an eye on Xbox's YouTube, Twitch, and Mixer channels, because Mixer is owned by Microsoft, for news from the show. Then later that night, Sunday, June 10th, at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, which if I carry the 1, add the 5, that is 3, 4, 5. That's 2:30 in the morning in the UK.
It'll be worth it.
Is the Bethesda Softworks press conference, which what to expect from them. Bethesda Softworks will hold its annual BE3 press conference from downtown LA, giving fans the latest Bethesda game from Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, and more. That includes Rage 2, which got an announced trailer, which I haven't had a chance to watch yet.
It got an announced and a gameplay trailer. I haven't gotten to see either of those.
Yeah, I was never big on the first Rage, so I wasn't really big on checking it out. But yeah, there's a new trailer for Rage 2, which was just announced. Go check it out. That will be at the Bethesda Softworks event. You'll be able to catch their press conference on Twitch, YouTube, on their own Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and at Bethesda.net. We still got a bit cheer war going on between Joker and Big Stupid. If you guys are going to keep going, I'm not going to be doing a bunch. Just noting the Big Stupid leapt over Joker after Joker tried to leap over him.
So I just want to point out, how excited are you for at the Bethesda press conference this year for them to announce the game that everyone has been looking forward to, that we are finally going to get Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim on the TI-86 graphing calculator.
What?
You just totally missed that whole joke?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
Whatever I had. I saw something in chat and I thought there was trouble, but there isn't trouble. It's just Joker being cheeky.
I hope you guys appreciated that at home. I was saying at Bethesda's press conference this year, they're going to announce the game everyone's excited for, Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim on the TI-86 graphic calculator.
I was going to say, maybe it'll come to mobile. Maybe it'll come to... it's already come to Switch. It's come to pretty much everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Dope Dean, hello to you in the chat. What else? Big Stupid, we did not see the Fortnite tournament. All right.
I heard there's going to be one, but I didn't see what's in it.
Okay,
Whatever.
we gotta keep rolling along. And then Devolver Digital, they're going to do their show. Devolver Digital's thing isn't really much of a press conference. It's kind of like a really just weird thing. It's happening Sunday, June 10th at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, which is 4 a.m. if you're in the UK. What to expect? The Polygon take. Well, this is happening again. Devolver Digital will broadcast its big fancy press conference on Twitch's Twitch channel. For 2018, Devolver promises real, actual game reveals and technological innovations from Devolver Digital. In reality, it will likely be just as irreverent and gross as last year's event, but with a sprinkling of game announcements. Yeah. Monday is Square Enix. Monday on June 11th, that's 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. In the UK. What to expect from Square? Square Enix won't be holding a traditional press conference, but will broadcast a special video presentation about the company's E3 and future plans. It will be live streamed on Facebook, Mixer, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, and archived on YouTube. This will be Square Enix's first E3 presentation in 3 years. Games we'll likely will be Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the next Tomb Raider game, Dragon Quest XI, and Kingdom Hearts 3, which we will talk about later.
And then we'll probably continue to tease Final Fantasy VII Remake and not actually announce anything.
Yeah. Yes, Dope Dean, by the way, I do play Fortnite. Which there's some Fortnite news we'll get into later. Then also on Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, and 9 p.m. in the UK is Ubisoft. What can you expect from Ubisoft? Ubisoft's E3 conference will take place at the Orpheum Theater. That's where they normally have it. We're guaranteed to get news on Tom Clancy's The Division 2. And Beyond Good and Evil 2, because that's exciting because The Division actually got pretty good. I haven't really gone back to it. Gone back to it a little bit, but from what I've heard, it got really, really good, and I loved the setting and the world. So I'm excited to see what The Division 2 could bring. And of course, Beyond Good and Evil 2, we got a trailer for it. If not last year, the year before that. So excited to see what's going to happen there with that as it develops. And of course, we expect to hear a lot more. There might be a new Assassin's Creed game on the announced. Probably won't be coming out this year, but maybe announced. Probably maybe some DLC for Far Cry 5 along the lines of like Blood Dragon, stuff like that, maybe.
That'd be interesting.
But yeah, keep an eye on Ubisoft's Twitch and YouTube channels for pre-show, for both pre and post-show streams.
Oh yeah, as Bowling Dude pointed out, I think they said that there might be a new Splinter Cell.
Yes, yes, that wasn't mentioned here in the blurb, but yeah, it is one of the leaked games that was on that thing we were talking about last week. I think was a Splinter Cell game, so I think we will be getting a new Splinter Cell game. Then there's a PC gaming show at 3 p.m. Pacific. Oh, somebody gave us a follow, so I got to make sure that I shout them out. Dope Dean, thank you so much for the follow. Yes. We've got the PC gaming show that's going on Monday, June 11th at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. That is 11 o'clock at night in the UK. What can you expect? PC Games, the 4th annual event for PC gaming, will have a theme. See the future of PC gaming, quote unquote. Organizers promise exclusive announcements, trailers, and discussions from many of the most exciting developers and projects on the platform on the horizon. We'll see what happens at the PC gaming show, because traditionally, it's not really that big of a show. But last year, they kind of had a little bit more stuff now that PC gaming's been on the rise the last couple years.
Yeah.
Especially with the rise of the Battle Royale franchise.
Yeah, especially things like PUBG last year.
Like PUBG had some pretty big announcements. You never know. Epic might have some stuff for Fortnite, since Fortnite is big on PC as well. So we'll see. We might actually see the PC gaming show get even a little bit more relevance than they normally do this year, but we will find out. It all depends probably on what goes down at the other press conferences.
Yeah.
And then there's the big one to end it on Monday, which will happen at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. if you're in the UK. That is Sony PlayStation, the Sony press conference. Sony's E3 2018 showcase will feature exclusive, quote-unquote, exclusive looks at deep dives, end quote, on 4 upcoming titles from SIE Worldwide Studios. That includes Death Stranding, the really weird, freaky thing that I don't know what's going on, that involves Kojima, Guillermo del Toro, and Norman Reedus. We've also got Spider-Man by Insomniac Games, which I am so excited for. Looking forward to that game. I can't wait to hear more of that. Naughty Dog's The Last of Us Part 2, which will be very interesting. And I'm not as, oh my god, as I maybe would have been in years past, but it'll be interesting. Then we've also got Sucker Punch Productions' Ghost of Tsushima, which
I'm
will be
interested
interesting
to see more of that, because I only did like a teaser last year,
Yeah.
and it looked really interesting. I'm really excited to see what they do now.
I can't remember it, but Sucker Punch made if I remember, they made the Infamous games.
Yep.
So I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with this game.
That's why I'm excited.
Yeah. Sony also promises to highlight games from PlayStation's third-party publishing partners and indie studios. PlayStation's YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook channels will be home to the live stream, as well as live.playstation.com. I'm also very interested. There will probably be some Destiny news. Bungie will probably make that. If they make any announcements, it'll be probably at the PlayStation conference, because they have that exclusive deal for exclusive content there.
Yep.
And also don't be surprised if you see Fortnite. Don't be surprised if PlayerUnknown pops up and says, "Hey, PUBG's finally coming to PlayStation."
Ooh, can I point out some very quick and, in my opinion, kind of funny PUBG news this week?
Sure. Well, do you want to say it now, or do you want to wait until we get through the press conference? Because there's only one more to talk about.
It's just a quick quip thing.
Okay.
The Miramar map has come out for PUBG Mobile, but it has not yet come out for Xbox One.
Yes, it has.
That's just what I want to point out.
It's on the way, though. From what I hear, it's on the way and it's coming. That was actually one of the quick hit newses I was going to hit, but we already did it. Tuesday, the final event, because at, I believe, 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is when the doors open at the Los Angeles Convention Center for E3, 10 or 11 Pacific time. So at 9 a.m. Pacific time, which is 12 p.m. Eastern, at 5 p.m. In the UK, Nintendo will have their Nintendo Direct. They're not going to have a press conference. They've stopped doing press conferences. They've just done the Direct, so they're going to do it here. They have plans to broadcast a video presentation for the morning of E3 Day 1, which will focus on games scheduled for release in 2018. That includes recently announced Super Smash Brothers, so we'll get to find out more about that, like maybe players who will characters that'll be involved. I still need to buy a Switch, by the way. I probably wouldn't play it that much, but I just want to own it because it's cool.
Yeah, I'd like to have one. You could
Um,
always bring it with you to work and play on your breaks.
yeah, exactly. Nintendo will follow its Tuesday morning video presentation with multiple days worth of Nintendo Treehouse live broadcasts from the E3 show floor. Keep an eye on e3.nintendo.com, YouTube, and Twitch for more.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that is it, I believe. Other events that are going on. There are 2 other events that are going on apparently during E3 week. There is a Super Smash Bros. Invitational 2018 happening on Tuesday, June 12th after Nintendo's E3 video presentation and the Splatoon 2 World Championship Finals. 8 top Super Smash Bros. Players will put Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch to the test in a public demonstration.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. While the new Smash Bros. Will get plenty of attention in Nintendo's E3 presentation, the Invitational will offer a great look at the competitive scene. And then the last one is we don't know when it's happening, but it's going to happen during E3. Epic Games is having a celebrity Fortnite Pro-Am event. What is it exactly? Well, Epic's wildly popular Battle Royale game is getting its own E3 event. The Fortnite Celebrity Pro-Am will pit 50 pro gamers and 50 celebrities against each other in a game of Fortnite Battle Royale. So we've seen this before in other games. We've seen it, I think, in Battlefield before. We've seen it, I think, with Call of Duty, like with some of those presentations where it's just a bunch of celebrities like Snoop Dogg and like Zac Efron and stuff like that will
maybe
play.
Drake.
Yeah, Drake will play against guys like maybe Dr. Lupo, Ninja, Tim the Tat Man, guys like that.
You know who else might be there?
Who?
Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
Well, probably not actually.
Maybe.
Depends on what day it happens.
Yeah.
Because since Austin's on SmackDown, his week doesn't end until Tuesday, which means he would fly from wherever SmackDown is on Wednesday morning. Pretty much, he'd catch the earliest flight he could Wednesday morning and then fly into LA that Wednesday morning. So if it's happening anytime after, I'd say, 2 o'clock on Wednesday, then he will probably be there. And he will probably be there Wednesday evening. He will be there Thursday, and then he'd fly out Friday. So when Austin does E3, he's only able to do basically like a day and a half. If he was on Raw, though, which is unfortunate, if he was on Raw, he would have been able to fly in on Tuesday and be able to do Tuesday, like almost all 3 days of E3. But he'll mostly be partly there on day 2 and all of day 3. So if the Fortnite event is happening on the Wednesday or the Thursday, then yeah, he could very well be there. But if it's happening on Tuesday or Wednesday morning, then he won't.
All right.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting as I will. Just gonna finish this thing on the Fortnite thing. There's still a lot we don't know about the event, which is part of Epic's overall Fortnite Party Royale plan, but it will surely be a big draw to E3 2018. Bowling Dude said, as a quick side note, have we heard of the game Ring of Elysium? I have. It's basically a Chinese reskin of PUBG with a couple of different gameplay elements, and some people think that it's better than PUBG, and it's actually pulled some of PUBG's player base away from PUBG, but I haven't tried it out yet.
Okay.
It's been around for about a month or 2. So okay,
Here with your Overwatch
suddenly Overwatch news. A wild Overwatch news has appeared.
Yep. So with Overwatch news this week, Jeff Kaplan did a video on YouTube announcing the Overwatch 2nd anniversary event, and it's going to be a good one. The event will start on May 22nd. They announced that with it, they're going to be doing a new deathmatch map called Petra that is being added to the game for it. Along with that, they're going to add a second competitive mode specifically for the free-for-all deathmatch type, which will involve the Petra map and the Chateau map that already exists for deathmatch. So we're getting a new deathmatch type. Along with this event, we're not only getting a bunch of new skins, including 2 that have already been revealed, which are Lightning Tracer and Venom Soldier 76, which also looks really good. They also announced that every skin from every seasonal event that has been around in the game in the past will be available in this mode, or in this event. Not only to buy, but also when you get one of the anniversary loot boxes, you are guaranteed to get 1 anniversary event item, and all of those other items, including seasonal items, will be included in the random whatever you could get throughout the entire event. So if there's anything that you miss, like from Junkenstein's Revenge, from one of the summer games, from the Uprising events, anything like that, you'll have a chance to get them during this. And not only that, if you missed any of those modes, such as Junkenstein's Revenge and Endless Mode of Junkenstein's Revenge and Lucio Ball and things like that, all of those events, every single seasonal event is coming to the game again for this mode. So you'll be able to go and play Lucio Ball, and then you could go and play the new Uprising Retribution event, and you could do it with all heroes instead of just the original 4. And you could switch to Junkenstein, and you can switch to Capture the Flag, and all these different things, and it's all coming for this one event.
Very cool.
And it lasts for, I believe, at least 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks.
Ooh, nice long event.
Oh, it's a nice long event, and it, like I said, it's got basically everything the game has come out with is being included in this event, plus a bunch of new stuff.
Very nice.
I am very excited for this event.
It's good. Yeah. Anything else in the Overwatch news? I just realized we did not check Overwatch League.
That's all right. They've just started their new...
They're in the middle of... They're just starting the first week of the fourth or fifth stage.
Fourth, I think.
We can check it out real quick. Yeah, week 1 of stage 4. We've got the on Wednesday. The Gladiators defeated the Shock 3-1. Seoul lost to the Valiant 2-3.
They're slipping.
Dallas they won, but that's because they faced Shanghai. Shanghai still winless 3-1. Then the Philadelphia Fusion beat the Boston Uprising 3-1. Interesting. And no surprise to anybody, the Excelsior 3-0'd the Florida Mayhem. And Houston 4-0'd London.
Wow.
Damn. Damn. Then that was all on Thursday. Yesterday's action, the Gladiators 4-0 Dallas. Houston beat Boston. So Boston has lost their first 2 matches of the stage. Wow. 3-1 and Houston's 2-0.
Beat Seoul.
Yeah, so and the Shock beat Seoul. Seoul's lost twice.
Lost
Damn.
Their first 2 games of this. Wow.
Yeah. And then today, the lineup for today, which is Saturday. So if you're watching this on YouTube, this is already coming past. Let's just look at the results. The Philadelphia Fusion take on the Florida Mayhem. So Philadelphia should win that. Los Angeles taking on Shanghai. That should go Los Angeles' way. But then the main event is London versus New York. That'll be a close one. Yes. New York has won most of these matchups, but London, don't forget that London beat New York, and I believe it was the stage 2?
Yeah.
Stage 2 finals. No. Or was it stage 1 finals?
I believe it was stage 1, yeah.
Yeah. So the London and New York's got have a bit of a rivalry, go back and forth, so might be an interesting matchup tonight. And then if we just take a quick look at the standings real quick, just for the stage standings, really not much. We've got Los Angeles and Houston. The Gladiators and the Outlaws are 2-0, and then we got a bunch of 1-0s and 0-1s. But as far as the league goes, New York's still in first. Boston's still in second. London is in third. Seoul has fallen down to 6th place. Yeah. Philadelphia is in 5th. Los Angeles in 4th. It's shocking that Seoul has fallen so far because at the beginning of the season, everybody thought they were going to be the ones that were just going to be dominating everyone.
Well, I mean, not only that, but the first stage, the only team that beat them was New York Excelsior. And now they've been beaten by a lot of different teams. It's crazy.
Yeah. And Houston's only 1 game back of them now with their 2 wins. They could overtake Seoul.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so could the Los Angeles Gladiators, who've been winning as well. So, Seoul is in 6th, but they are very much in danger of falling to 8th or 9th.
Yeah.
Other than that, no other surprises in the Overwatch League.
Yep.
And that's all for Overwatch news. Now we're going to transition over to some more serious, somber news. Cliff Bleszinski, for those of you who do not know, he is a very popular public face in the gaming world. He is a very well-known developer. He has been designing and developing games since he was in high school, since he was a teenager. And he's done a lot of work for Epic Games. He worked and he basically, I believe, he created the Unreal Engine, which the Unreal Tournament stuff works on. So many games, even today, still use the evolution, the newest versions of the Unreal Engine. He did a lot of work on Unreal Tournament. He was one of the biggest developers and biggest guys behind the creation of Gears of War. Gears of War was his baby. But he eventually ran into creative discrepancies with Epic and left them to create his own studio. He retired briefly and then came back to create his own studio, Boss Key. Boss Key is the studio behind Lawbreakers and more recently Radical Heights. And this week, Cliff Bleszinski in a long tweet announced that he is going back into retirement stepping away from video games, and that Boss Key is shutting down after Lawbreakers did not do very well, could not overcome the shadow of Overwatch, and then Radical Heights was just an alpha when it came out, and it was a bit of a mess and did not get received very well.
Yeah.
Cliff Bleszinski's statement, which, if I just check real quick, came on May 14th. Today is the 19th, so this was, I believe,
5 days,
Monday, Tuesday. He said, as of today, Boss Key Productions is effectively no more. 4 years ago, I set out to make a world-class video game studio, and I hired some of the best talent in the video game industry. They worked tirelessly to produce quality products, and while we had our ups and downs, I'd like to think we had fun doing it. Lawbreakers was a great game that unfortunately failed to gain traction. And the last-ditch attempt we scrambled to do our take on the huge Battle Royale genre with Radical Heights, which was well-received. However, it was too little too late. As for myself, I'm going to take some time off and reflect. I need to focus on myself and family as well as my Aussie, Teddy, who is slowly fading from us, which is unfortunate. Video games will forever be a part of who I am, and I hope to make something new again someday. However, I need to withdraw and take this time. To those of you who have supported myself in the studio these last 4 years, thank you from the bottom of my heart and everyone who came to work for me. Please note that the servers for Radical Heights will remain up for the near future. Thanks again, Cliff. So, very sad. I've had the privilege of meeting Cliff Bleszinski on a few occasions. He is very much a what's the word I'm looking for? I'm having a hard time trying to find it. He's not really, he can come across as a real a-hole, as a real asshole when you first meet him, but he just likes to mess with people sometimes, and he is very I think brash might be the word. Unapologetic. He wears his personality on his sleeve. He is who he is, and he just likes to do what he does. And when he tries to be an a-hole to you and take jokes, he may be serious with you sometimes, trying to mask it as like being joking, or he's just trying to test your sense of humor to get a gauge of what kind of person you are and what kind of person he's dealing with. But deep down, he really is a nice guy. He is a cool, nice guy, and it really is a shame that he isn't going to be that like things just didn't work out with Boss Key.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, if I'm giving my honest take, I thought Lawbreakers as a concept and an idea was a mistake. I think once Overwatch landed and you saw what happened to Battleborn, you should get the hell away from hero shooters.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Radical Heights, it just didn't do what they wanted to, and it was like, I think it was a quick grab to try and save the studio by jumping on the Battle Royale thing.
Yeah.
So, like, unfortunately, like, I don't think this was a case of Boss Key not being a good studio and Cliff Bleszinski not being a good developer, because as we've seen historically, he's a Hall of Fame level, like, legacy award, whatever you want to give him, developer. It's just that they picked the wrong genre to get into for their first game as a studio.
Exactly, I agree.
So it's unfortunate. I hope after some time, I hope that all the people who worked at Boss Key find new jobs quick.
Yeah, hopefully.
And I hope that after he takes time to reflect, that Cliffy B does come back and better than ever.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Other news that we've got here, non E3 related, but pretty significant. Xbox released an adaptive controller for people with disabilities.
Yeah, which is very cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's like almost like a keyboard with the way that it's designed. No keys, but like just the
board.
Yeah, the board itself. It's almost keyboard shaped. It's got two round circles that can be used to, I believe, press on. They also have like things that you can touch on with your feet if you need to use your feet for buttons and stuff like that. And the D-pad is very large. The buttons are relatively large. So it's basically designed to help people with disabilities be able to game.
Yeah, which is very cool.
Very nice. Very cool. The more people gaming, the more people getting to relax and unwind from the stresses of life and potentially use it as a form of escapism.
Yeah.
Basically use video games for that, the better.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm all for more people having access and being able to play video games.
Same.
Which is very cool. Also, this little franchise called Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Have you heard of them? Have you heard of them?
I think I heard of them. I mean, I had to spend a few midnight releases working at GameStop dealing with these games, so I think I may have heard of them.
Yeah. Well, the next Black Ops got revealed.
Okay.
It is multiplayer only, which is aggravating quite a lot of people that there is no campaign.
And not surprising in the least to me.
So it's gonna be multiplayer only. They're gonna get a bunch of different modes. You're gonna get zombies. You're gonna get your traditional Call of Duty multiplayer, and they're also gonna have a battle royale mode, which I do not believe they released a lot of details about or any info. Just the fact they're doing a battle royale mode.
Yeah, that's about as far as I know, at least.
It seemed very similar to Black Ops 3, where they had grappling hooks and whatnot, and kind of
near future stuff.
Yeah, near future kind of things. So it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be as, from what little I saw, very little of it, it looks traditional, Call of Duty, cool stuff. But I didn't see any of like the nanotech and like super high advanced stuff that was coming with some of the later Call of Duty games before they tried to do World War II.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a trailer out there. Be sure to check it out. No campaign, battle royale. Interesting stuff. I'm sure we will learn more at
E3 probably.
the 3 of E.
Mm-hmm.
And Joker said he's excited, but he wanted a campaign. He's played every campaign since Black Ops 1.
I haven't played a single Black Ops campaign.
I played the Black Ops 1 campaign and couldn't get through it. And then I think the only I played, but the only campaign actually I ever beat in Call of Duty after they went modern was Modern Warfare 2. I beat the campaigns for the old World War II Call of Duties for 1, 2, and 3, and then I couldn't beat 4, but I got like 3/4 of the way through 4, and then saw you playing the final mission and just watched you beat it, and I was like, okay, I've seen the end. I beat Modern Warfare 2.
Same.
I got, I think, a third to half the way through Black Ops 1, and the thing is, I wanted to play it on the harder difficulty, and so I basically rage quit out of the campaign because I made it too hard on myself. Because I saw the campaign at that point as training for multiplayer. And then I tried the Call of Duty 3 campaign, couldn't get into it, or the Modern Warfare 3 campaign.
Yeah, the last game.
Couldn't get into it, and then that was it. That was like, I think, then I tried Black Ops 2, and I was like, eh. And I think I've been done with Call of Duty since then.
The last Call of Duty game I played was World at War.
Yeah.
In which I did not know that there was Nazi zombies at that, so I was excited about that when that showed up. I was like, what?
Yeah.
But that's the last one I played.
I'm intrigued. I'm interested in potentially maybe getting back into Call of Duty, but it really has to wow me. And we'll see what the Battle Royale mode will be like. So hopefully more details at E3. Destiny 2, by the way, has been out for a while. Their new raid layer got dropped last Friday, and so far, when last I checked, less than 100 teams have beaten it. That's how difficult it is. But it's also been so difficult because it's hard for people to level up in Destiny 2. The way that progression is like loot is given for progression and whatnot has been not that great. You can be doing stuff like the only way you can get stuff like you might have a chance via the raid, but the only other way to do it is by completing the weekly like tasks, which is kind of not cool. You don't get it from doing individual things. So apparently Bungie is going to be changing that. They're changing the power ramp. It's coming in a couple of weeks. Basically, the way that it's going to work is that every 3 to 5 heroic strikes a player does will reward them with a 360 rated piece of loot, which is pretty much the level you need to attempt the new raid lair, where you can then go on and do harder stuff and get the higher end loot, which is something that a lot of community people have been like suggesting that they do. Have the nightfall strikes or the heroic strikes give you stuff that allows you to at least have a chance and compete and try the raid to have a chance to get that gear. And like, it really hasn't worked. They really didn't make it that accessible. which will then give you a chance to do the escalation protocols as well. And speaking of escalation protocols, you will also, and also those are 360s before the +5 legendary mods can be added in, so they're basically 365s. And you can also go ahead and where else is it? The escalation protocol key fragments, which you need in order to open the chest from the final boss. You can get those by beating for every heroic strike you beat now. Too. So when you get to final boss and escalation protocol, you don't have to worry about not having a key to open up the good end game loot there.
Yeah.
So that's Destiny 2 news. Fortnite is coming to Android this summer, by the way, for those of you Android users who are upset that they can't have a way to mobilely game and play Fortnite. And voice chat is going to come as well. No further details, I think, on that, really. There's also going to be a solo showdown mode coming to Fortnite, where basically you get points based on where you land in the mode. And then there's a ranking system. And if you come in first, there's V-Bucks rewards. First place gets 50,000 V-Bucks. Second place gets 20,000. Second through fourth will get 25,000 V-Bucks. And I don't know if there are any rewards for people after that ranking. I know I'm not super competitive enough to be anywhere close to the top four, so I might not even bother.
Yeah.
So that is Fortnite. And then there was a 4.2 update that came that introduced both a epic and legendary version of the burst assault rifle.
Cool.
And then we already talked about PUBG Mobile. One of the last things before I want to talk Kingdom Hearts 3 before we sign off, but the last thing we'll talk about before that, Skull and Bones, that multiplayer pirate ship game, that ship-to-ship combat game, has been delayed into the 2019-2020 window. They said Ubisoft claiming that it needs more polish. We'll probably see more of that at E3. So, I was intrigued by it, but I feel like I need to see more than just naval ship-to-ship combat. I want like the full kind of Pirates experience, almost kind of like what Sea of Thieves tries to offer.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Well, I'm sure we'll see more at E3 this year, but don't expect it anytime soon.
Hey guys, I need to give you a shout out.
Yeah, and then the last thing I want to talk about is Kingdom Hearts 3, because they came out with a gameplay video for Kingdom Hearts 3.
That they did.
Yeah, they showed off Sora and Co. in the Hercules world taking on the Titan, and then they showed off Toy Story world.
Yep. Andy's bedroom.
Yeah, and it looks fun.
I think it looks real cool.
I like how in the Toy Story world you have Woody and Buzz fighting alongside you, which are definitely voiced by not Tom Hanks and not Tim Allen.
Yep.
But I mean, I can't blame them for not being able to get them. It seems like one of the abilities of the game is that the Keyblade can transform into different shapes. We saw like a hammer type thing, almost like a drill arm and a magical staff. Wreck-It Ralph was introduced as a summon, who can build stuff and then will smash it all down in the end and deal area of effect damage. And then we also saw summons for what are basically kind of like lit up, spiritually inspired summons from Disney rides.
Yeah.
Like for example, we saw one which was basically the train from the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad that fired fireworks at the enemy.
Yeah.
And then we also saw a one of the cars for the Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin ride, where you basically just shot things with a laser thing inside the little
which I am super excited to try that out.
So it all looks really cool, really interesting. It actually did get me kind of like beforehand. When I heard this news, the video dropped, I was like, I don't know if I can get excited about Kingdom Hearts anymore. It's been so long since 2. And then I saw the video and I'm like, okay, I can get excited for Kingdom Hearts again. It looks it looks pretty. It looks beautiful. It looks like it's made up for current consoles, and the gameplay looks like fun.
Yeah, it does.
So with that, we are finally going to wrap this show. I feel like we went on for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went on for a while today. But there's a lot of stuff to cover.
Yeah.
As we said, video game stuff is going to ramp up as we get closer to E3.
Yeah. I'm excited to see that Sora is starting to use a Spren from Stormlight Archives as a weapon now.
What?
It's a thing where they could turn into a thing called Shard Blade, where it's more or less a weapon that can transform at will into other weapons.
Oh.
So,
yes.
Sanderson reference for those of you who are fans out there.
Oh, maybe one of you.
And that's me.
Yeah. But yeah, that's going to do it for episode 50, the big episode 50 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. We're really happy to be doing this for 50 episodes, hopefully for many more.
Mm-hmm.
And do not forget, you can watch us live on Twitch every time we do an episode. It's normally weekly. Sometimes we miss a week. And it's actually been panning out to be normally Saturdays around late morning to early afternoon, within that time frame.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll have to adjust it, but normally, if you're free Saturday between the hours of about, say, 11 and 2, that's normally when we're live. So be sure to check us there on Twitch, t.tv/L_Murpho. You can also find the highlight on VOD to be watched back on Twitch. You can also find the VOD on YouTube at youtube.com/LMurphoReel. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe over there. Let us know what you think. Let us give us some feedback, all that stuff. You can also catch us in audio form by searching Super Grapple Bros on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and lots of other places where podcasts are found.
Rate, review, and subscribe.
Even more important to do so over there, because once we get enough ratings and reviews, we will actually get an official rating on YouTube, on iTunes. People will be able to find us more there, search for us, because we'll actually be an officially rated podcast. Mm-hmm. By the way, yes, Nico66, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it, my man. Mm-hmm. Do not also forget that you can, if you have any feedback, questions, comments, all that kind of stuff, there's 2 ways you can do that with us. You can email us at supergrappleBros@gmail.com, or you can join my El Murpho Discord server, which you can find in the description on YouTube, in the show notes, on the audio version, and on the channel page on Twitch. By joining it, you can get access to 2 Super Grapple Bros channels on the server, one of which is topics, questions, and suggestions, and the other is pay-per-view viewer predictions from WWE, where you can predict matches and compete. You get a shout-out if you predict the most amount of accurate matches in a pay-per-view. You get a shout-out on the podcast. And as of now, you also get a shout-out if you beat either one of us on the podcast with your predictions. And we're debating doing a giveaway for whoever either wins the most pay-per-views among the viewers or gets the most accurately predicted matches.
Yeah.
So there's all of that fun stuff. And last but not least, do not forget, whenever we go live, we like to tweet to let people know. So you can find us on Twitter. I am at L_Murpho.
I am DMurph_42. And
that is pretty much going to do it for episode 50 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. But before we go, our kayfabe news article of the week, or headline of the episode.
Mm-hmm. Which is, Michael Cole describes what his son Adam was like as a baby. He was emotional, but never a crybaby.
Oh, God. Well, that happened. That's the thing.
Happy 50 guys. Episodes,
That's
everyone.
Happy 50 episodes. The idea of Adam Cole and Michael Cole being related terrifies me. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you next time. Until then, later.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace.
Deuces. Deucey deuce. Bye-bye.
Shut up and sit down.